Also joining us from Carleton Place is three-time Lanark County team member Emily Kwissa, right over here. What was it like your first time being on the team and being at the Canadian Festival of Spoken Word?
Super scary. I was 15 the first time I made the team, so I kind of felt like the baby and nobody really knew what to do with me because I was the first person under 18 to make it, and there was all this political stuff going on and people, oh my gosh, a 15-year-old.
Were you allowed in certain venues, or was that ever an issue?
I was actually asked at the door of the first bar we went in how old I was, and I was like, actually I'm competing, and I had my little lanyard, and that totally put me off though. The entire night I was shaking and I actually threw up before I went on stage, and yeah, not like in the place. I went to the bathroom first, but yeah, it was terrifying because I had never done anything to that scale before, so. But it was helpful because after that I wasn't scared of poetry or going on stage anymore, which was awesome.
So overall a positive experience in the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So what do you expect? This is your third year now, so you're like a veteran of spoken word at the festival.
Yeah, wow,
so
I guess so.
Do you feel like you're way above everyone else at this point?
Oh no.
No chance?
Not at all. I always went to the festival for the poetry, and just in my experience, poetry has always kind of gotten the short end of the stick in the art world, and I found that spoken word too is always kind of treated like we're the dancing dogs of art, which is really deeply upsetting. So I love that this is the one time of the year when the entire country convenes to do poetry. So I go and I try and bring the best poetry that I have, and I love just listening and soaking it in, and I love working with the teams, and I love being able to talk to people who love it just as much as I do. So I don't really go for the competition or for personal gratification, I go for the poetry because I feel like I have to do whatever I can to support the fact that we have poetry on a national level.
So people who haven't been to spoken word before, what should they know about it before they attend the show?
Nothing. It's so awesome to just go in and not know what to expect, because my first show, I was expecting people sitting on stools with berets and reading and drinking coffee. And
now what is wrong with wearing a beret?
Well, some people have their berets on a little too tight, so... I like a beret. I can't wear a beret. I can't wear hats. My head is not shaped properly for hats, but...
Right, so it's not all finger snapping. Although finger snapping is acceptable.
Oh yes,
but
definitely.
It's much more than that.
It's so much more than that, and there's such a connection between the artist and the audience that I find awesome. So it was more that you're expecting this subdued, sort of respectful, dead white man's poetry, and then you get this passionate, fiery art form, and I was so excited about that. So it's really awesome to see people who have no idea what they're getting into coming in and saying, I've never been to a slam before, and then having their minds blown. I love that.
Do you want to talk about your shoes?
My shoes.
So you got these
shoes
at the last festival.
I did.
In Victoria.
Yeah.
And did they inspire your performance or change the way?
Actually, my performance inspired the shoes. I wrote a poem called Boots a couple of years ago, and then I had this shoe fetish that happened as a result of the Boots poem. And these shoes I actually bought because I was looking for something to wear to the after party at Victoria, because I was actually going to go this year, because the previous year I was too scared to go anywhere, would not leave the hotel room. So I found these shoes. Ken found the shoes. Ken was my teammate last year, and we were in Payless, and he holds up this box and says, look at these shoes! And that was it. Had to have shoes.
So you were in love?
Oh yes.
Yeah. You're finishing school, is that right?
Yeah.
Or are you starting university?
I'm in my senior year of high school.
Right.
This was my third day of school today.
And do you have career plans? Do you plan to be a poet or do something else entirely?
I want to do poetry for the rest of my life. I'm not competing next season, probably, because it's senior year and I've got such a heavy workload, but I want to always be involved with poetry as much as I possibly can. And in university, if I can bring poetry with me, that would be fantastic. And yeah, just poetry all the time for the rest of my life, hopefully.
Sounds like a really good plan.